Morning, guys. I'm just going to do a quick little rundown on how to set up this Brooks Range Rescue Sled. So, bear with me. Let's see if we can set it up. Okay, so first things first, I got it set the board into splitboard mode. So, tick off the board, bindings, put everything back together, get your poles out. This is what comes in the rescue sled. You're gonna have your straps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straps. And then your extender poles for the top of the board and for the end of the board. And then here is the sled itself. So I'm gonna put on these and then I'll show you how it works. All right, so important part here. You want to make sure that the black part is going to be at the front of the board. And I just clip these together. They actually just slide right on here. Okay. Okay, so once I got these into place, you're going to set up your poles. So your poles are going to be in an X formation. So you're going to put the pointy ends here up at the top. And then I just ran the handle of the pole underneath here, and eventually we'll tie it down with a strap right there. So you're going to tie a strap in the middle. You're going to have one here, one on each side of the poles. Okay, so I'm going to tie those down and I'll show you what it looks like. So I got my top two, I got my middle, I got this one set. I just want to show you guys a little trick with these straps. If you work with the logo on the outside, that's the best way to make sure that you're getting it on the right way. So a cool thing about this sled, the Brooks Range sled, it actually kind of gives you kind of a how-to if you've never put it together. This portion, I can go back and I'm going to do that right now. So I actually kind of missed that step. So we're going to go ahead and put this portion right here. This loop, so this loop right here is going to actually slide into this tube. That way it ensures it's super tight. Okay, so now that we got the tube and the sled running through the tube, this is going to be your top. All right, this is where you're going to tie the rope onto. So this is your sled. You got everything underneath here. We're going to bring it all the way down here. You're going to have two straps. So these straps right here are going to hook onto the bottom, and that's what's going to keep everything in place and everything secure. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Okay, so now we got our sled set up here, and just like the diagram says here, you're going to try to pad the sled a little bit. So extra jacket, sleeping pad, backpack, and we're going to put the head up here. Okay. And that way we can tow from either end. But the head's going to go up towards the top here. Okay, so I just put a little tarp down just for this purposes. It's probably not always going to be in the backpack, but I got my backpack here. That way I can lay the victim's head here, and then lower back here. Depending on the injury, I guess you would have to see how we could make it work the best. So here's this, and then I'm going to show you how to fasten and tie everything up. Okay, step one, I have a little Velcro on each side of the sled or the tarp. You're gonna make sure that you do that right away. That way, they're gonna be covered up and they're gonna be warm as soon as possible. You also wanna make sure somebody's covering their head so they're not just getting snow in their face the whole time. If it is snowing a lot, we're gonna make sure we keep their goggles on, face masks, just everything that we can to keep them warm. Okay, so right now I've just Velcroed it. and I'm going to show you how to use the straps. Okay, so these straps on the outside here, they are color coordinated. You have a light gray and then kind of a dark gray. So the light gray is going to crisscross to the light gray tab. You're going to crisscross again to the light gray tab, and then it's going to hook into the other side over here. So now we're just going to do the same thing for the gray tab. Hook it in here, bring it across. Okay, last tab you're gonna have here, it's actually gonna come out of the gray side. Now this is gonna keep the upper body secure, okay? That way it's not flopping around as much. So you're just gonna take the black strap straight across to this toggle and tie them up. Okay, so we got the victim head, chest, body, we got everything secure. You have 1, 2, 3. Last one you're gonna do is the legs. It's kind of hard to get to, so you're gonna make sure you can find it. There's a toggle underneath here, and then right here as well. So you're gonna tie those two together to keep the legs secure, depending on the victim's injury. Okay, so you see I got the legs tied up here. I'm using a pillow as the legs. Put that back over. And now, we've got a full sled set up. So now the fun part begins. All right, so you're gonna have to tie your rope to this, some cord to your backpack, and if we have more rope, there's another set over here, and that is for if you're going downhill and you have a lot of terrain to cover. You can have one in the front and possibly 2 in the back. All right, so now we've got our rope tied to the front. We just used a trusty, thank you Mick, bowline knot. Got a little bit too much on the working end, but we'll get better at that. So now you've got your victim, and you're gonna tie this other end to your backpack. All right, so got my line hooked up here. It's hooked up to my backpack, and you just pull and safely get them out. You can see we got it hooked up to the back. I think the best thing to do is if you have some thick straps or an ice loop down here, that's probably gonna be the best place to tie your knot. Now this setup took me about 35, almost 40 minutes to do. So hopefully we can get faster at it, get more efficient at it. If you guys want to borrow the sled throughout the season just to practice at your house, you're more than welcome. But I think the more that everyone has had a chance to really put their hands on it and figure out how it works, the better we'll all be.